So I have a 86 Bronco 302 AOD transmission. It has a 92 engine. It's a 302. I retained all the wiring. It's the same transmission. Basically just replaced the engine the way it was with all the accessories on it. And I did use the later style ignition. So it has the newer distributor with the remote mounted TFI module and the wiring done correctly. Now, over the course of a few years that this was getting put back together to make functional, I did, well, back up a little bit, I did replace the engine and got it running, but it sat, and over one of the winters that it sat, the computer seemingly died, the original computer from '86, I would assume. Now, at the time, I didn't know as much as I know now, but I did know enough about the pinouts that up to a certain year, 85 to the mid-90s, well, I'd say up to about 94, 93 actually, speed density in particular, that it would function. I would at least get the engine running. And so, tell you a little bit more about the engine real quick that went into it. The vehicle that it came from. It was a 92 Bronco custom 302 E40D, and this. So here's the computer from it. Okay. One of these is, yeah, this is it. So this is the 92 computer, the donor truck computer. So I said, okay, I'm going to put this in and get it running. It worked. Of course, there's codes out the yin-yang. It didn't show on here, but just for the heck of it, I hooked up my scanner, and yeah, it drew every code for the E4OD. It wasn't seeing the anything with the transmission, obviously, because this is an AOD, right? Okay, but it ran. It ran okay. Now, this is the second computer. It's okay, so what's wrong with that? Well, nothing really, but technically it's not the right computer. That computer at one point started to get weird. I actually soldered new capacitors into it. It did fix it, but the board was didn't take well to the heat from the soldering iron. So the board's a little flaky. It works, but it's the capacitors. One of them is really hanging on there by a little bit, and I didn't trust this. I want to get this truck running and make it at least good for short trips, but I didn't want that to let me down. Okay, so all right, let's order a replacement computer from Rock Auto. First one, seemingly bad. No fuel pump with the ignition key turned. I couldn't hear the fuel pump, and I don't have spark. Okay, EEC's dead. Replaced it, sent it in, got another identical computer for a 92 302 AOD. All right, this one's doing has the same problem. However, like I said, the other computer for the E4OD works fine. I thought maybe, okay, this thing, for some reason, it has some kind of weird electrical thing going on. It's running off of the keep alive voltage. I don't know. So I'm looking at the pinouts, and all the I'm testing the connector, and all the parts that we're supposed to have, battery power, with ignition on. It's not showing. Now, then I go to my EEC relay. Here's the original, and I see that that the ground's not. I'm not getting a ground to it. But then I realize, yeah, the computer controls the grounds to get this stuff working. So this uses computer controlled ground. So with the computer that does work, it is supplying voltage via the EEC relay once the key is turned on. So it was not, I replaced the relay. That didn't, of course, make a difference. I am stumped. Like, this truck really didn't have anything too crazy done with it besides just plop in the replacement engine. I didn't do too much with the wiring besides that TFI, like I explained. I just don't. Did I get a second? Did I get another bad computer? I mean, what is so special? Then, if not, what is so special about this computer for the E4OD? What operationally, it should be exactly the same. It should be exactly the same. There shouldn't be anything keeping this from at least turning on. But it's doing the same thing. So if there's anyone, if someone's got to know what's going on, like maybe they have a very intimate knowledge of particular EECs, but at this point I have hit a roadblock, and it's a shame to rely on that computer to get this thing to run, because I know it's not long for this world. All right, thanks a lot.